You're listening to Tripod, the Tricycle Creative podcast, produced for anyone interested in being a better digital and content marketer. Host Ross Erosion is a marketing coach, content creator, and entrepreneur who brings you helpful tips, social media updates, inspiring interviews, and his own unique perspective on how to tell your story and grow your business. So sit back, relax, and let's get pedaling.
So you may not know this about me, but I am a huge basketball fan. I love it. I go and shoot hoops at least a couple of times a week. I just absolutely love basketball. And I've been really caught up this year in the finals, watching the playoff games. And, you know, the NBA finals, more so than any other, the playoffs are like a haul. There are so many games. It takes forever. So I've been watching all these games with my wife, or maybe I should more appropriately say I've been watching the games and my wife has been like held hostage on the couch while I watch the games. She hasn't protested. She hasn't said, you know, can we watch something else, anything like that. She's an awesome trooper. So the other day, we're walking our dog, and I mentioned to her that the final, that seems excessive, the final series of the NBA playoffs, that's probably the more appropriate way to put it, is on. And she rolls her eyes, and she kind of just like, ugh. And I just figure it's because, you know, it's a 7-game series. It's more games to watch. And I start talking about LeBron. I am a LeBron James fan, big fan. I don't actually have a team in the NBA, and I don't know if you're a sports fan, you maybe, you know, call sacrilege on me, but I don't have a team in the NBA. I like certain players, and particularly with like free agency, I kind of feel like it's the only way to be in basketball, but I love LeBron James. I want him to win another title. I just think he is a fantastic player. He plays like how I would want to play. Just a little insight into my head. I was like a center power forward, and he takes his game to another level. That's where I would want to be. Anyways, you don't care about my basketball hoop dreams. I digress. So I mentioned LeBron, and she goes, I hate LeBron. And I stop in my, we're walking the dog, and I just stop. I'm like, wait, what? She goes, yeah, I hate LeBron James. I was like stunned. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not the level of fandom where this is like, we gotta get a divorce over this. You know, I'm not that excessive about it. But I was shocked. I was really surprised to hear this. I bring this story up because I think as a business owner, you may think that you know your customers. You may think that you know exactly what they need and exactly what they want and what they like about your service and maybe what they don't like about your service. But chances are you are going to be surprised when and if you talk to them and get real feedback. So I encourage you to take the time to, whether it's a survey, whether it's a sit down, whatever format you kind of choose or want to work with. I often find that I think the most direct way, but I think the most fruitful way is to actually have a conversation with them, because that way you can kind of also nail them down, if you will, for an appointment. If you just send out a survey, hey, fill this out when you can, you know, you're playing this in this game of follow-up. If instead you schedule a 20-minute conversation, you got them on the phone, they're there, you can talk to them, you can ask follow-up questions, which potentially you can't do as well when it comes to just surveying. But talking to your customers and finding out what is it about your service that they like. You may find that, much like the situation with me and my wife, you may be surprised. I had no idea that she had dislike, as much dislike, if you will, for LeBron James. And you may find that your customers also don't like LeBron James. That's probably not as helpful to your business. Hopefully you ask other questions other than, do you like LeBron James? Although, interesting question, I suppose, curveball to ask. Ask about your business. And this is where you also have to be fearless. You have to ask some of those hard questions. And I think the other part of this going into it is you have to be prepared to make change, or prepared to at least acknowledge the feedback and think about it and share it. If you're a business owner with employees, share it with your employees. So I would sit here and say, I could sit here and say, I guess, that there's a good time to do this, but there's really not. I mean, I think any time that you're prepared to do it is a good time. Maybe try doing it twice a year. However that falls for you, that's fine. I think it could be a nice way to wrap up a year for you, particularly if you're one of those people who obviously works off of, whether it's a fiscal calendar or the real calendar, just a calendar of like when, okay, this date comes in, this kind of triggers this mechanism and I got to start doing X, Y, Z. We're as I record this, we're in the fall. The year is winding down. Fourth quarter is as good a time as any to do this. And you know what? You can also reward this. There's no law against rewarding someone for giving you their time and their feedback. So in my case, I like to give food because, I think in the languages of love, food is up there. I don't know if that's actually one of the languages, but if it's not, that's my language. So I reward with, food or sweets or something like that. But it could be maybe a discount for that month. It could be a freebie of some sort for your business. It could be any type of thing. Obviously, that's a reward. It could be small. It doesn't have to be major. I think it depends on how long you intend to chat with them, but we're not talking about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're not talking about sending, a $300 gift basket. It doesn't have to be much. But I think it's a important thing to remember that you can do that. You can incentivize. There's no law, there's no rule against that. And if that gets people to you to get valuable feedback for your business, that is a good investment. Keep in mind, I am not a tax person, the aspect of which those gift baskets, those sweets are a tax write-off. I would recommend you consult your tax professional.
Thanks for listening to Tripod. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. Show notes can be found at tripodpodcast.com. Connect with Tricycle Creative on social media at Hello Tricycle, and learn more about how we can help you with your marketing at tricycle-creative.com.